Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Acc Thursday, 27th of May 2021. We're looking at the front of the papers. First up, New York Times. Picture of some heavily armed sheriff's deputies yesterday at the scene of a mass shooting. 8 people were killed at a rail yard in San Jose. Rest in peace. Beside that, President orders report in 90 days on virus origins. US agencies to look deeper at the theory of lethal escape from Wuhan lab. So the agencies they're referring to are the security agencies, and the theory of lethal escape from the lab was highly discredited or deemed very unlikely by the WHO, but now Biden administration is pushing it. They want it investigated. Over on the left, activists win battle to join Exxon's board. So some people have been voted onto the board of Exxon. They want to push them away from oil and gas, this type of thing. It was a hedge fund, so presumably the end goal was to make profit, but good headlines for them. Afghan bases fall to the Taliban as US heads out, and a picture of a man defending his hometown with a slingshot. That's all he has. Beside that, anti-Semitism surges in wake of Gaza clash. That's talking about in America, synagogues and things being targeted. Beside that, culture of fear said to prevail at Gates' firm. So Bill Gates, the story is actually about a man called Michael Larson, who was investing all Bill Gates' money in farmland, hotels, stocks, bonds, etc. But it's come out about him that he was a pretty awful man, showing colleagues nude photos of women on the internet and made a lot of sexually inappropriate comments, made a racist remark to a black employee, bullied others, etc., etc. Down the bottom, a shot for a shot at $1 million. So yesterday, Ohio announced the first winner of its Vax-A-Million lottery. So get a vax, get entered into a draw for $1 million. Pretty good deal. Olympics going ahead. Pretty bad idea, I guess. The Tonys set for September. That's, of course, an award for theatre, I think, Broadway. New York Times International Edition, picture of a man with a kangaroo over his back. So in Australia, they shoot a lot of kangaroos because they're like rodents. There's a lot of them. And American activists want to stop them. Okay, opinion piece on the left. Diana Batu, coexistence in Israel is just a myth. Palestinians live under a racist system whose laws enshrine their second-class status. Yes. Shaking up the art scene in Paris, something about a French billionaire creating a contemporary art space beside the Louvre. USA Today, no one connected the dots. Story of a sexual assault, multiple sexual assaults by a guy in a university, and no one picked it up and he was allowed to stay at his studies. Underneath that, at peak of lockdown, suicide deaths tumbled. Okay, Floyd family visits Biden. So the 1-year anniversary of George Floyd, his family went to visit the White House. Wall Street Journal, same story with the mass shooting. Exxon story, Biden COVID-19 story. Cities reverse police defunding amid rising crime. So this was also in the news yesterday. Bill de Blasio said he would reinstate $92 million for a new precinct after scrapping the project last summer. Also the mayor of Baltimore, who wanted to cut the police budget by $22 million, now proposed $27 million increase. So a lot of things getting backtracked, because apparently there's more crime, according to the cops. Financial Times, Dominic Cummings on the front, accuses Johnson of being unfit to lead the country. I mean, we all knew that, but he spent 7 hours yesterday talking to a committee in Parliament about it. Nissan Sunderland factory in line to be UK's biggest electric battery plant. Alright, Amazon MGM deal sees media deals hit $240 billion this year. Okay, so Amazon have acquired MGM. Irish Times, picture of a woman on the front, popping a bottle of champagne. Irish cyclist who won something in Italy, I guess. Same story about Cummings. COVID supports continue till the autumn. Portmarnock Golf Club to admit women members after 120 something years. Okay, good to see they're being progressive. Dominic Cummings on the front of the Irish Examiner again. Nice picture there from Cork. Some boats were protesting against the things affecting the fishing industry. Fire insurance crisis adds to housing woes. Okay, so insurers hiking premiums, excluding building work from policies, and withdrawing cover, meaning experts cannot sign off on properties. Then beside that, state must buy Bessborough land to prevent development. Okay, so Bessborough House was the site of a mother and baby home. So these were places where women were sent to have unwanted children. They were run by nuns, and a lot of kids died in these homes. The infant mortality rate was double that of the normal population, and just in this one particular home, they found that over 900 babies had died, but they could only find the burial place of 64. So people think they're probably buried on the site and they should not be developed for apartments, etc. I wholeheartedly agree. There is a story beside that about a government minister basically rejecting criticism of budgetary forecasts. So the Irish Fiscal Advisory Council came out and said the government's budget was crap, and they've come out and said, no, it's not crap. Irish Daily Mail, fury at new dining rules, something about the government, and things are going to open up various times, but people are annoyed about it. Something about Gordon Ramsay's daughter being involved in a sexual assault. Sorry to hear that. Brad and Angelina, front of the Irish Sun. Paranoia of siege gun maniac who shot 2 cops. Kinahans want to kill me. Okay, if you're outside Ireland, maybe you don't know these names, but Daniel Kinahan, that's the man in the bottom right, is accused of being the head of the Kinahan cartel, which apparently supplies most of Ireland's cocaine and also does some international gun running, etc. He's based in Dubai, was also heavily involved in the boxing industry. If you've heard of Tyson Fury, he was involved with him putting together some of his fights, and he's in the promotion industry. There was a big thing in Panorama about it a while back where they investigated him and his ties to boxing, and all seems a bit shady, etc. The Guardian, Dominic Cummings again pulling some mad faces there. And now something about the Friends reunion. Fury of the Hillsborough families as trial collapses. So the Hillsborough disaster in 1989, a lot of people died at a football match and they reckon the cops were to blame, and this current trial that's gone on has collapsed. They said the original inquiry wasn't valid or something like this, so the families are obviously pretty annoyed. The Times, there's Dominic Cummings, 4 pictures of him again, looking good. Daily Tory graph, Cummings takes his revenge as he lays blame on Johnson and Hancock. Okay, so framing it as a revenge thing, which probably it is partly that, but I guess what he said is also quite valid, a lot of the things that he said. Down the bottom, France orders UK 7-day quarantine. Okay, so if you're traveling from UK to France, 7 days quarantine. Tech giants block DACRA from Ofcom. Okay, Ofcom is the press regulator, and basically Google and Facebook have lobbied for this guy not to get it. He's the former Daily Mail editor, and so there's obviously a bit of a fight for control going on because Ofcom would have the powers to regulate social media, and Facebook and Google obviously want someone friendly in there. Beside that, Mohammed teacher allowed back to school. That was the story of a guy who received death threats after showing the cartoon of the Prophet Muhammad, which I think was from the Charlie Hebdo edition when there was the big shooting, etc., and people died. So he's been allowed back to work. The Independent, big picture, Dominic Cummings again. Tens of thousands died who didn't need to die. Yes, we already knew that. Daily Express, picture of Kate looking like she's having fun on the front there. Yes, mistakes were made, but this was pure revenge. So the Daily Express completely discrediting Dominic Cummings and saying that it's all just a revenge thing and it's not valid. Daily Mirror, tens of thousands of people died. Dominic Cummings again. iNewspaper, tens of thousands of people died. Dominic Cummings. Hillsborough trial on the left. Daily Mail, Domshell, they've gone with. Metro, Domshell as well. Daily Star, this is also about Cummings, but there's just kids' drawings on the front for some reason. Football, Marks and Spencer's to shut 30 stores. Alright, that's it for the day. The big story is obviously Dominic Cummings all across the papers. If you want to know what the real stories are, just click the link in the description. Alright, thanks, good luck.